No one ever left Black Hollow. No one ever came to Black Hollow. And most terrifying of all, the sun never rose in Black Hollow. For as long as anyone could remember, the town had been drenched in endless night. The sky was a thick, swirling black, broken only by an eerie glow from the moon, which never seemed to move. The clocks ticked, the seasons changed, but the sun, it had abandoned them. Some said it was a curse. Others believed Black Hollow was a forgotten place, one that had slipped through reality, lost in time and space. But the truth? That was far worse. One night, though every night was the same, a stranger arrived. Elias Grayson, a journalist. He had heard the rumors, a town where the sun never rose. It was impossible, a hoax surely, a forgotten place where people were too scared to step into daylight. But when he drove down the winding road into Black Hollow, his headlights barely cut through the thick fog. His GPS stopped working, his radio turned to static, and worst of all, his watch stopped ticking. When he stepped into town, the people stared. Their faces were pale, their eyes sunken, as if they had been awake for centuries. A woman whispered as he passed, "Another one. He won't last." Another what? Elias tried to ask questions, but the townspeople either ignored him or walked away. Then he saw it, a board near the town square, covered in dozens of missing person flyers. Each one bore the same date, the day they arrived in Black Hollow. None of them had ever left. Determined to uncover the mystery, Elias checked into a small inn run by an old man named Mr. Hensley. "You're not the first outsider," Hensley muttered, pouring Elias a cup of coffee. His hands shook slightly and his eyes darted toward the window. "You'll want to leave before it happens." Elias frowned. "Before what happens?" Hensley looked him dead in the eye. "The calling." That night, Elias couldn't sleep. Even with all the lights on, the darkness outside seemed to press against the windows, like it was alive. Then, at exactly 3:33 a.m., the town bells rang, a sound so deep and heavy it rattled his bones. The moment the bells stopped, Elias heard footsteps outside his room, slow, deliberate, scraping against the wooden floor. Someone was whispering his name. "Elias! Elias!" He held his breath. The door handle turned, but when he flung it open, the hallway was empty. Only one thing remained outside his door, a mirror. The reflection that wasn't his Elias stared at his reflection, except it wasn't his. The man in the mirror looked exactly like him, but his eyes were pitch black, and a twisted grin spread across his face. Then the reflection spoke. "You shouldn't have come here." Elias stumbled backward. The mirror shattered, and as the glass hit the floor, the whole room shook violently. Down in the streets, he heard screams. Rushing outside, he saw the townspeople standing in the square, staring up at the sky. For the first time, the moon was gone, and in its place, a black hole swirling and twisting, pulling at the world like it wanted to devour it whole. The people began to change. Their shadows stretched unnaturally. Their faces melted into darkness. They became the night. And Elias? He felt something pulling him in. His body grew heavy, his vision blurred. Then a whisper echoed in his ears. "Welcome to Black Hollow. You belong to the darkness now." A new name on the board. Days later, the town was quiet again. The moon had returned, frozen in place. The people went back to their hollow lives. And in the town square, on the board of missing persons, a new flyer had appeared. A picture of Elias Grayson, marked with the same date. The day he had arrived, the day he had disappeared. Thanks for watching. If you like this story, make sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment below.